or I'm sorry, it merely proves that the concept of a maximally great being is possible and logically coherent in all logical or possible worlds, quote unquote. But it doesn't actually show that God exists in all possible worlds. That would be what I posited.
Ah, okay. Well, see, now this is making, this is definitely making the reification fallacy. A concept of a thing is not an object. It is simply a state of mind. It is an action, a process of a reasoner. It's when we say, I think A exists, or I understand A as an existence, or its nature of existence. A concept quite literally is the thought about a thing. Okay, so when you say the concept of God is proven to be logically coherent in every universe, I'm sorry, logically existent in every universe, all you're saying is that the understanding about God is logically existent in every universe. I think that begs the question of what are we thinking about then? What is the object that our thoughts are referring to then?
I see. Well, and that's why, yeah, that's what my point of your objection to Kant and his what you see as fallacious reasoning there would also apply to this same point on the modal ontological as well as just the like Anselm's ontological argument. That's all I have for objections right now that I've selected to the ontological. We'll definitely revisit this if we get a lot of comments, or if I get a lot of comments and stuff with other attempted refutes, or
various debunkery.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Other objections to the ontological argument. Do you have anything to add to any other attempted refutes that are popular, that aren't, very easy to refute? Because the simple ones like, oh, I can conceive of a unicorn, therefore a unicorn exists, obviously is fallacious, because that doesn't even understand what the argument goes for, or the comment I hear all the time, well, what the ontological says that whatever you think of automatically exists in reality. Obviously, this is fallacious and easy to refute. Would you say, is there any other good objections or solid objections to the ontological argument in any form that you're aware of?
Not that I can pull out off the top of my head. I think, like you said, Garnilo's criticism is just a misinterpretation of the argument. I think Aquinas has an interesting critique of the argument that perhaps we can go over later, but I'm not familiar with it off the top of my head. The most basic tenets of quote-unquote refuting the argument are saying that you can't come up with a definition for God, such as than of which nothing greater can exist, because the word greater is so subjective. Or you can just quote-unquote refute it again by saying this doesn't prove Yahweh exists, this only proves a supreme deity exists, which I think is, as you would agree, a straw man, because the point is not to prove the Christian God, it's to prove that a supreme being
Exactly,
exists.
yeah. It's not attempting to prove a specific God. Yeah. All right, I would agree with that, and we're at about our time limit here. So thank you, Necess, tremendously. I think that this was very productive. Like I said, to everybody else out there, I will provide a link to Necessitarian's channel, and I will also be open to attempted refutes and other comments and questions, and if it's good reviews and good response, then we could probably do another segment on the ontological again. So thanks, Necess, man, my buddy, my friend. Thanks for being on here and agreeing to do this.
Anytime, Beetle man, anytime. Excellent, my friend.
And yeah, so I think this went really, really well. So cool, everybody. That was our guest here, and that concludes the Beetleman Broadcast #1. Hopefully, not the last one. Thank you, everybody.
Cheerio.